Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Lebanon Board of Park Commissioners. I'd like to call the meeting to order and let the record show that all members are present except Diane Scott. If everyone's had a chance to look at the minutes from the April meeting, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. Okay, moving on to old business. Kevin Krulik with the projects update.
Good evening, board members. Updates, various projects around the city. Let's start off with some of the easy ones. The Fordyce Road project. Bring that up because obviously there's a trail included in that extends off our East Street Trail. Right now, we're just really in utility coordination and utility relocation phases, and we will be probably until early August. And that's when you'll really see heavy construction for the road start to happen. And really the pathway work would be some of the last work that will happen. The pathway, the lights, the trees, those will all probably not go in until next summer, and getting ready to open that project and be ready for when the school opens, the new Central Elementary, first week of August next year. So that trail project is moving forward. On other road projects that include trails, there's the Witt Road project. We're still a ways off on that. That does not schedule to go to construction till late 2026 and into 2027. There will be a path also included on that extending up from Lafayette Avenue. Let's see, one other street project, and that is the Noble Street project, the one that we recently received the $12 million award from NDOT on, and that's to reconstruct Noble Street from 39 to 32, which will include walking paths, sidewalks, and walking path connections down to the Big Four. But again, that's a ways out. We just had our early coordination meeting with NDOT on March 27th. I have submitted our RFPs for engineering for their review and approval. And I have also put in our formal requests for our DBE goal, our disadvantaged business enterprise goal that we will have to apply to the project. So that project is, as I said, a ways out. It's not scheduled for construction until 2029, but significant pedestrian and pathway improvements in that. Some miscellaneous projects, active living programs, city wayfinding signage. We're really struggling with a contractor there, waiting for them to get all their dig alerts cleared so they can start digging foundations for those those signage packages that are going throughout the city that will direct people to places like this building, the downtown, the various parks, the schools. So excited to include that. We think it will really help people, especially visitors, find their way around town. The Big Four Trail project, I hinted at this at the last meeting. We were hoping to be able to extend that project by another mile or so. But due to some issues with the contractor, we've had to cancel that extension for right now. It's not completely dead, but we're reevaluating that. We're looking for possible solutions that may also include combining that with the Sam Ralston Road Trailhead project and maybe doing maybe not a full mile of additional work, but doing some additional work between Sam Ralston and the 65 bridge. Downtown, a couple of projects going on there, primarily being done by the Heart of Lebanon, but the city will be looking at doing some alley resurfacing on the North Alley associated with the Alley Oop project. I understand the signage is in fabrication and, is in final stages of design before it goes into fabrication. There's also a mural project on the East Alley that we will also be involved from a resurfacing standpoint associated with that project. Jumping into sort of true park projects, Stone Eater Bike Park, a lot going on out there. I apologize, I'm probably a little dusty and dirty and covered in mud. I've been off and on out there today, all day. We started paving this morning. And really, Billy tells me he just drove by, and as of about right now, they're just wrapping up paving. They should be finishing up the parking lot paving before they leave for the night. So that's good. They started about 7 a.m. this morning and put in a long day to get the entire parking lot complete and paved. And that is all the way to surface. So it is done, and from an asphalt standpoint. Still remind everybody, we completed 99% of the park access roads. We've got about 200 feet of road left on the north end of the project. We're just waiting for things to dry out, which we're waiting for everything to dry out right now. We were just talking, I think it's been the wettest month of April in 75 or 80 years. It's been a lot of rain, and we're still recovering from that, but we were able to get that asphalt down. Happy to also report Pump Tracks USA is on site, spent the day off and on with them and our bike park designer verifying things and getting ready for them to start construction. Primarily today was just a lot of touring and coordination with them. We had a volunteer work weekend before last. I just want to thank those that came out to help with us. Just to throw out some first names: Ben, Joe, Denise, Lisa, Kelly, Missy, Winnie, Matt, and April. I want to thank all of them personally for all the hard work. We filled a 25-yard dumpster with trash that we picked up. And then we also had great assistance from our friend and John George Grading on cleaning up some of the heavy material and dragging the tires out of the woods. And the Department of Public Works has now hauled all those tires away for recycling. And it's all getting ready for this groundbreaking event, which is scheduled for tomorrow morning. We hope you're all there to join us. We'll have some speakers ranging from IDEM and our Economic Development Corporation to the trail builders and to the NICA league president for the state of Indiana. So exciting things going to happen tomorrow out there. So if you're available, come out and join us at 10:30. There will be food. There will be tours of the site, ATV tours or UTV tours, I should say. So you'll be able to ride in safety and somewhat comfort around the site and take a look at a few things. But that's moving forward. Trail construction, again, will start right after this groundbreaking event, and we'll take about 4 months, and then we'll go into kind of our landscaping phase and finalize the park for an opening, hopefully this fall. The Old Street Garage master plan, really just finalizing our public engagement process still on that. And hopefully we'll be putting that out to public here shortly to get more input on those things. Couple of other projects we're also working on. Obviously, there's the pickleball courts, and we've engaged a consultant to help us put together some of those bidding packages on that. But I do caution everyone that the project is not funded as of right now, and early budgets would probably put both pickleball court reconstructions somewhere in the $800,000 range, if you consider all lighting, fencing, and pavements, resurfacing, nets, all those things that go into it. They're not cheap, but we're working forward with that to develop a program so that we can then go back to council and ask for additional funding. The Admiral Longer Fishing Pier project, that one does have American Rescue Plan funding to the tune of $300,000. We're also currently engaged with our consultants on developing that bid package as well. And hopefully we'll be bringing that to you in the coming, I'm not sure if we have it for next month, but definitely the month afterwards. The Big Four Trail, Sam Ralston Road Trailhead project, that's moving forward. We should have bidding documents around the end of the month, and that will be going out to bid at that time and be getting bid packages hopefully back in the right price range in late June, third week of June. And then again, that project is fully funded by the American Rescue Plan monies as well. And if there's an opportunity, we will try to get some additional trail work done with that project. But I feel budgets are pretty tight there, so there's a lot to be done. Reese Park parking improvements. We mentioned that last time. Wanted to move that up on the list. We have quoted that. Actually, I had to quote it twice just to check our numbers on that. We quoted it to a number of different contractors. Our low bid was $54,200, and that was submitted by Triangle Asphalt Paving Corporation. So here local. And we've already forwarded that on to City Council, to President Robertson of the City Council to start thinking about a funding request that we'd like to take before them at their next meeting, which is May 13th. They did ask for a complete list of projects, so we kind of talked through all the park projects. The ones that are on the list right now that are unfunded, I mentioned the pickleball courts, that we want to ask for that request. There's then the parking improvements at Reese Park. And then there's also things like pathway lighting around Abner Longley Park. That is one that really is to be determined. And then I think the other projects that are really high on the priority list, the Frisbee golf updates, the playground equipment upgrades at Abner Longley, and some Memorial Park drainage. Those are primarily going to be self-performed by your Parks Department staff. So those probably will not be included in the funding request that will go before council in a couple of weeks. With that, I think that's about everything. One last one. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned this. The road projects. We've got our DPW department projects to resurface about 20 roads across the city. And on the top of that list is reworking Anderson Lane, putting that on a little bit of a road diet, narrowing some of the lanes there and adding some pathway work as well. We're going to host a public information meeting so that we can let the public understand what our plans are for that before we go to construction. We wouldn't be going to construction until probably late May, early June, but we want to start getting them some more information. That's all the project updates I have for you.
On the park projects, my understanding all along was the council, every time we took the list, was willing to fund, probably the top 4 on our list, which has gone on. And I really need to put an emphasis on the Reese Park paving.
Correct. That was actually the
Number
only
one.
project I initially sent to Mr. Robertson for consideration. And he said, well, if we're going to take a list forward for funding, show me what else you have. And that's when I sent them the list of all projects, but highlighted the ones that were unfunded at this time, which would be pickleball, the parking, and then the pathways and lighting around Abner Longley Park. But I think I've made it pretty clear. I think John would attest to that. We made it pretty clear that our initial ask was for Reese Park, and that's the one we have valid quotes for that we would like to go to contract sooner rather than later on.
Right, I agree, because every month I hear haunting stories about safety issues out there with kids, and that's not good.
Yeah.
And we've been fighting for this for a long time, and I appreciate, the efforts. But I don't want to hold it up waiting for bids on other projects. If that makes sense. I understand he wants a group, but can we single this one out and then work on the group?
Sure.
Because-
I'll talk to him about that.
Please.
And see if we
really-
can't do that
yeah.
initial. I mean, the other projects are a lot more substantial in terms of cost.
Absolutely.
I mean, as I mentioned, pickleball my estimate is $800,000. And that's just based off of some of the unit prices that we received from the Reese Park parking improvements. So I may be way off. But those are, those are a whole other order of magnitude larger. So I think it would be fine if we think about those as a separate request. And really, we're talking about 2 projects there. We'd be talking about perimeter pass around Abner Longley, and we would be talking about the pickleball courts.
Correct.
The other projects are relatively small, and with the exception of Reese Park, those I think are primarily in the plans for them to self-perform.
No, but I really, really want to see this paving done.
Understood.
I know you do, and I appreciate everybody's work on it. So if we could just really push that since we have the bids, that would be great.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
The pickleball court's so expensive. You mentioned that we need lights. We have lights. You mentioned that we need fences, and a pinch we can keep the fence. The nets are actually in pretty decent shape. It's just the pavement. So I think. Explain. I'm confused as why we can't just repave. I don't know why we have to engineer all of this stuff when we have a spot, we have a place. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's just a pavement.
Well, I guess I would say of that pavement, when you do the math and you use the unit prices from the bidding of Reese Park, it's like $600,000 just to redo the pavement. You know, really, we're just throwing in. We are reusing some of the fencing at Admiral Long or at Memorial Park. We are reusing the lighting. I did factor on new nets, but it was a real high level sort of back of the napkin sketch of a budget. But and then we are planning on adding lighting and fencing down at Admiral Longley Park that's not there today. But I think what we should do is let's continue down the road, and assuming we have a path forward on funding, what I would suggest is we put out a bid package that is itemized, and we can pick and choose. We can say, you know what, our nets are good enough, we'll cross that off. Our fencing is good enough, we'll let that stand. And then, you know, we could always say we don't need to light all pickleball courts, or it can be a future endeavor. You know, think of the Little League baseball fields that were just recently lit. You know, for years they operated without lights. So,
That's good.
yeah, that would be my goal. Is again, that number is high and inflated, and it's just a quick number. So, you know, forgive me for that, but yes, the approach would be to itemize those things so that we could pick and choose what we actually want to do and right size that budget for what we think. But, you know, I had to put a number together for the council to understand what the order of magnitude might be.
And I like the listings so we can pick and choose, but we also have to keep in mind, if this is something, we want to do this right. And so if it's something we need, we might want to include it, because if we go back five more years and do it, it could be 3 times that, because that's what we're finding on projects.
Absolutely. And hey, good news. Just sorry, I'm looking at my phone here, but I just got a text from Mr. Robertson saying, let's take the parking forward on the agenda as a single item request. So
Thank you. Thank
I don't
you.
know if he was watching or, okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
You good with that, Brent? Oh, yes.
That is funny, Kevin, he did do that. Dick's watching. Hi, Dick Robertson. Okay, director's report. Again, that Reese Park, we started way back when Northeast Street, if anybody remembers when it was torn up, there was a lot of leftover gravel. And Kevin said, can you use it? So we ended up, that's how that gravel started. We got the gravel for free, had them dig it all in and put it in there. And that was to get the cars off the road, because Lori, as you said, the safety out there is really scary, and this brought those cars off. They were parking on both sides of the road, and that was scary. Now we have no parking on the north side of the road, and they can pull off. It's still kind of a little scary, but it's nice. It'll be paved, and extending that drive all the way down to the shelter is what is in the books. And thank you, Kevin, for all your hard work on these projects, that's for sure. Memorial Park, I'll just start off there. We have new drinking fountains. They're being installed. That'll be by the playground restroom. And those have the bottle, there again, the bottle where you stick a bottle in, get water, but also a drinking fountain. No dog water bowls. I know a lot of people want those. You can get a lot of diseases, I found out, from parvo and things like that. So they make these little plastic bowls that you can get. I suggest everybody carry one of those and fill it up the drinking fountain. But I feel comfortable down at the dog park having a dog bowl, because all the dogs have had their shots and the parvo and all that. So that is why we don't have those dog bowls at the end of or by the drinking fountains. There again, electric box is being removed down by the baseball field. That was placed on a tile many years ago, and that tile's broken down, and it's actually sinking. It's like a sinkhole. So we're getting that corrected. We actually moved it over today, and we'll remove everything, had the meter removed. but Billy's been on top of that, along with Adams Electric, helped us up to hook up because they're certified electricians. One tree we had to remove, a bunch of branches with all the winds and rains that we've had, just trying to keep up with the mowing and the spraying and everything else we have to do. 2 benches are being installed, one up by the top of the baseball field on the walking trail. The other one will be placed on that, since Dick Robertson's watching, on Roberts path over by 39. It's going to be put there. Let's see. We've applied Sterilant in all our beds and all the areas, gravel areas, and all the places that we need to at Memorial Park. And flower planting will start soon. I always hear Mother's Day, but it looks like the weather's broke for good now, so we'll be sticking those in the ground and prettying up the parks. Seashore Water Park, busy time there. The pool deck and both vessels have been power washed, and we started filling. So if you go out there, you can see water almost to the brim now. Both vessels are filled. Chemicals will be introduced Friday, starting to stock the concession stand, replaced sink, and additional repairs in the bathhouse, also in the concession stand. Irrigation system, got it up and running and everything fixed and calibrated there. Excuse me, the defibrillator and all the safety requirements that we need, pads replaced, batteries. I want to thank the police department for helping us out with all those. I think we had 9 throughout the system that we have. Those defibrillators are very expensive, and also the pads. You have to have child pads, adult pads, and all that, but all been inspected and updated. You know, those pads wear out, so we've updated those. Food permit, Boone County health inspection has passed, so we're good to go in the concession stand. We had to get that up and going before the eclipse came, so luckily we passed flying colors like always. There again, waves will be flowing on Friday, so if anybody wants to come out, they can hear that ocean sound. Weekly and daily maintenance that we perform at Memorial Park. We clean the restrooms daily, 7 days a week. Volleyball, sand, we rake it once a week, drag it. Shelter and cabin clean daily or when it's used. Tables and playground equipment inspected and clean on a regular basis throughout the week. Ground, trash, and sticks are daily. Mowing and edging, that goes every week. Abner Longley Park, Shirley will be happy to hear disc golf has started installation as of today. So I know that there's been quite a few inquiries. We've changed around, as Kevin said earlier. That monies were also set aside from American Rescue Plan. We had it planned by a planner, drawn up, and now we're doing the installation. And I'd say it should be up and going by at least 2 weeks. They're, again, weather dependent. What we're going to do, instead of putting permanent pads in there where they start to throw the disc, we're going to put temporary pads in there, see how everybody likes it. If the disc golfers are approval of it, then we'll go ahead and put it permanently in there. This way we can switch it around if they're not happy with it, but that way I can get some feedback. We can pour those pads because Billy and the crew are amazing, so we can take care of that within a couple weeks. So we'll try that and see how the temporaries work. Hopefully we'll hear great feedback and we can pour the pads. That way you can have professional disc golf tournaments. We had it in the past. We had to take the disc golf out. For those of you that don't know out there, we had to take the disc golf out because the water treatment or the water plant came in on the east side over there. They took up quite a bit of the disc golf course. We also had drainage issues out there, which have been corrected. And there again, put a splash pad in. There were just several things that were going on. Rather than them get torn up, we took them out. That would have left about 3 or 4 out there. I left a couple out so they could practice, but now we're going with the installation. We saved all the ones from the last time. And as I said, they'll be up and going in a couple weeks. Jonathan and Llewellyn and Anthony Western are taking care of those. Excuse me. Let's see, ground treatment, we've done all the grounds treatments, the 75 acres there with pre-emergent and weed control. It looks real good out there, really nice and striped. Removed a tree. I think there's a couple more down that we're working on. As soon as we get time to jump on that, they are out of harm's way. Mulch trails and clean the woods up again. We had some volunteers that came out. Want to thank them. In fact, had a group come out to the park again this evening. The Shuckers came out. I think there were 22 kids that were out there doing that. We also did a pond treatment, and the fish order has been placed. So we'll be ready for the fishing derby coming up. Even though that's at the hot pond, we'll have both of the ponds stocked. Weekly, daily maintenance performed again at Abner Longley. Restrooms clean. And do that on 7 days a week. Drag the softball field. Shelters cleared and cleaned. Tables and playground equipment inspected. Mowing and edged. And ground trash and sticks on a daily. The hot pond treatment has been completed this last month, and the fish order has been placed there also, and they will be delivered soon. Downtown, the beds have been weeded weekly. Fencing, there's some damaged fencing down there. People backed into it. I don't know what they did in front of Key Bank, but boy, somebody just ran over it. So it will be replaced. Got the quotes back, went ahead and approved those. So they're being fabricated and they will be installed by a professional in the next few weeks, I believe. Tables and chairs and umbrellas, we brought those out. Now they're down in front of the courthouse. Also, as Kevin said, for the alley-oops, those tables and chairs have been received. We have them stored. As soon as we get the paving in, we'll be ready to slap those and put those up there. Look really nice. Trees are ordered. We have a couple of trees that need replaced on Meridian Street in front of Clues Brews and Casey Sampson Leather. Those will be replaced. They died. Don't know what happened to them. They look pretty good, so I don't know if it was a disease or what, but something took them out, and we will have those replaced possibly this week, but within the next 2 weeks. Gene Haas, Vincennes out at the business park. Finally completed all the mulching, edging all the beds. There's tons of them out there. Also pulled all the weeds and did the treatment on not only that, but the DPW. We take care of the beds in front of that also. But they've all been fertilized. It's kind of new grass out there, so hopefully it'll take off really well. But we've taken care of all that. Big Four Trail, several trees. With all these winds we've had over the past month, we've taken care of all those. I'd say 15 at the least that have fallen on the trail. Not big ones, some were big, but we took care of those. We get them off as soon as there's a storm. We go up and down the trail, and we're up and down the trail at least twice a week. We did install a dog bag station for all the dogs out there, that dog owners that were requesting that, and if it'll help them pick up their stuff, we've got them taken care of. Going through a few events over the past month. The solar eclipse was absolutely incredible with all our parks just loaded. Thanks to Joe LePage for helping us prepare. Couldn't have done it without him. He just did an outstanding job. We've been working on this for a year along with a lot of Boone County representatives. Allison Gutwine, she just prepared us also. I just can't say enough. Didn't know what to expect, but we also want to thank Kelsey and Sherry from the clerk's office. They came out and helped us push some T-shirts and do some sales and did a great job. We sold out really quick. Wish we had a lot more. All the park staff really stepped up and made our viewing parties seamless. People from many different states and countries were very impressed with all our city. Loved our parks, went on and on. I should have brought all the letters I've received from, it's just really nice to get those letters from out of town and saying, boy, you guys are so lucky and we'll be back. So it was a big hit. And again, thanks to Joe LePage and all our staff for their hard work. Life's Recovery hosted its second annual run walk this past weekend in Memorial Park. They had a great band and a couple of guest speakers. They're really had a good turnout, and they will be back next year. We look forward to them coming back. Our spring pickleball league has finally been able to get started after a couple rainouts. It set us back a couple weeks. We have 8 teams playing in league, and games take place on Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Today, we hosted all Lebanon School kindergarten classes in the park for their Touch a Truck field trip. We had emergency vehicles, utility vehicles, REMC vehicles, dump trucks, cement trucks, even a mail truck out there. I thought that was interesting. And more in our large parking lot in Memorial Park. It was a beautiful day to have this event. Kids were just great. They got to eat lunch out there, and then they were all over the equipment. So it is working quite well. This evening, as I said, the Boone County Shuckers will be cleaning up Memorial Park. They plan to pick up sticks and trash, pull weeds out of the flower beds and around the playground, wipe down all our playground equipment, and help clean up the baseball field area as well. We thank them for their volunteering. It's really nice to have those kids out there. Our 2024 summer swim lessons registration opened today. We are filling up quickly, and I mean, it might be filled up by now. It just went quick. A lot of them did it online, which is awesome. But yeah, it opened up at midnight, and the cost is $70 per session. Sessions are 10 days long. Lessons are provided for children 3 to 10 years old, obviously different age groups. Visit our website for more information. Registration can be done online or by giving our office a call. We will be hosting our all-staff orientation for Seashore Water Park on Saturday, May 18th from 8 to 12. There will be about 65 staff members at the water park that day, learning about the upcoming summer jobs. Some of them, I think we have 17 to 20 new hires this year, so it's always good to do that and get the older people around to help educate them too. And we're real excited to get started. Seashore Water Park will be open Saturday, May 25th. Our 2024 season passes are on sale now and can be purchased online, over the phone, or by stopping into the park office. And you can, they can be picked up on the 13th or during their swim for the summer. And we also will be opening the splash pad at the same time. As I said earlier, we've been working out there pretty hard to get it up and going. 2 of the other projects that we have, replacement that Kevin spoke about earlier, is the replacement at Abner Longley Park of that playground. Boy, we're patching it together. There was a grandmother out today that called me, and we were right on it. Absolutely. We were working on the splash pad, so it's popped over there and fixed it. There's only so many Band-Aids you can put on playground equipment and to keep it safe. Anyway, Kiwanis gave us $36,000 as part of that. And we had some monies left over from last year from our capital improvements, which we placed with that. So we'll have a nice playground to replace that. That'll go in June, July. It'll be a community build, probably July, August, to be quite honest. But yeah, that's already been purchased and in the works. Looking forward to that one. We also have a bike repair station that was in memory of Mr. Wilhoit. And it will be down by the baseball field. That's on the agenda to be installed soon, hopefully this month, but have a couple drinking fountains, and who knows what the weather, but yeah, we're right on top of that to get it installed too. And I think that's it. We replaced 3 cameras over the past month. Had a 180 camera go down at Abner Longley and had a couple others. We're also looking at a new type of system for our pool where it will face ID, and you can recognize. That way we can see who's coming in and out of our pool. We can look at a database to see the undesirable people that they aren't allowed in our water park, such as well, anyway, we're working on that. We're testing that out right now and looking very forward to getting that up and going. I think that's about it. We have an Eagle Scout project that I'm working with a gentleman. He's a junior in high school. it's a musical playground and looking at putting it in at Abner. He's got to raise quite a few funds, but a real intelligent kid, and I'll have him come speak possibly this next board meeting, and I'll let him toot his own horn, but really a smart kid. I think he's valedictorian of the junior class. Just a real neat kid, and he thought of what our park could use, and I think a musical playground right there by the all-inclusive. We have plenty of room, and it's going to be quite expensive, but I think he can raise the money. This guy's pretty determined child, so I'm real proud of him. Other than that, we're just trucking along, have quite a big May coming up. The pool, once that pool starts filling, it's just incredible. And the weather, can't say enough about staff, how they've been out. Heck, I think last week, week before, we were in heavy coats and coveralls and all that, just freezing on mowing and anything we're doing outside. And then today, sweating forever, but that's life, and that's Indiana. Any questions? I'm sorry, I'm rambling.
I was out there today at the office and saw the kids and I just sat there for a few minutes and watched because it was so much fun.
Crazy, aren't they? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really neat this time of year too, because they're all coming out. I got to speak to a few groups at kindergartens. They're all pumped up too. It's awesome. But we'll have, with all the schools getting ready to, cut out for the summer, they'll be coming out to the park and doing their Harney doesn't have any ground right now to do any, what do they have, day, the play date, whatever they're going to do. I already talked to the Tracy Hamill anyway, and she's going to come out and they're going to do their events out at the park, which is cool. What is it called? Celebration Day or whatever?
Field day.
Field Day. Thank you. Golly, how could I forget? My kids are only 90 years old now. There you go. Anything else? Any questions? All right. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I want a grant. I keep asking.
Okay, if everyone's had a chance to look at the
Grandma.
claims, I'd entertain a motion to
I'm not
approve the
ready.
claims.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion granted. I just want to thank you, Kevin, for keeping up on all these projects. These are lists that we've had for several years and wanting, to get things done. But I'm really glad. I appreciate all your efforts along with the park staff to get these accomplished. I know it's not easy, but they're easy projects, just no money. I understand, but thank you for all that. If there's nothing else to come before the board, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion granted. Thank you for meeting with us this evening.